Hey guys, and welcome back to Cyber Launch. Today I'm going to go over ways in which you can deliver your AI solutions, specifically chatbots and workflow automations, to your customers. I'm going to break this down into two main approaches. One, providing templates for DIY setup, and two, hosting and maintaining solutions on behalf of your customers. But first, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out. First, let's talk about providing templates and documentation for customers to set up the AI solutions themselves. This approach is all about empowerment and flexibility, and it's great for tech-savvy customers who want to have a go, or maybe people who are interested in getting something set up, but they don't want the long-term investment of a maintenance contract. So how this works is you're going to create the chatbot or workflow automation templates using your platforms like your VoiceFlow, Make, Zapier, whatever. You're going to provide comprehensive documentation and preferably a tutorial video using something like Loom on how to install, implement it, and customize it if needs be. The customer is then going to set up the solution themselves. We may even help them. We might jump on a Zoom call or something and help, maybe log on, show them how to set up HTML onto their website, whatever the case may be, and sort of guide them through the process of getting it all set up. But that pretty much is where we then stop. We might provide some kind of ad hoc support going forward, but realistically, we've given them their product, and then it's up to them to sort of maintain it going forward. So the pros of this is customer independence. Customers are gaining the ability to manage and customize the solutions directly. Scalability, easier to scale our offerings as creating and distributing templates can be done efficiently. Lower maintenance, so reduces the ongoing maintenance responsibilities for our agencies as well. So we haven't got to worry about having a VoiceFlow account with millions of credits for the tokens for ChatGTP. So we can literally push all that back to the customer. Cons for this sort of setup, though, are technical limitations for customers. Some customers may lack the technical expertise to implement and manage the solution effectively. Support challenges, increased support requests as customers navigate setup and customization. So you're probably going to have a lot of customers who, even though they, claim to be tech savvy, are going to come back to you and be like, oh, I've tried doing this, it's not working, and that sort of thing. So we do need to be careful with the type of people that we'd be leaving this to do, because you don't want it to come back on you as you're providing a poor service because you've just literally dumped this on them and they have no idea what they're doing with it. Less control. You have limited control over the solution's performance and optimization once handed off. So again, this kind of comes back to, once we've given them that product, we've literally got no sort of comeback on it or way to maintain it or improve it. So if there are any problems with it, unless the customer comes back to us and tells us and then allows us to go and change it, we're going to have that issue where they could then turn around or go to another agency and say, oh, I bought this and they've left me in the lurch, whatever. So yeah, it is a possibility to do this, but obviously bear in mind there are I would say generally I'd move away from it if possible, but that's just my personal opinion. Let's consider the option where your agency, hosts and maintains these solutions. So how this is going to work is you set up dedicated workspaces for each customer on platforms like VoiceFlow and Make and Zapier. So in VoiceFlow and Make, you have team workspaces, or if you're using other platforms, make sure each customer has their own workspace. This is how it's going to work best for you, because you're going to be able to monitor the usage a lot better. You're also going to be able to see if you've got multiple solutions for one customer, it's all nicely in one area rather than it being all over the place and you're losing control of it. Obviously, the larger you get and the more you scale, you're going to have to go for larger packages on things like VoiceFlow, so it's going to cost you more money, but hopefully you're making enough money to cover that, so it sort of evens itself out. So your agency is going to handle the entire setup. Implementation, customization based on the customer's needs. So everything that they need, we're going to sort out. We're going to set it all up. We'll even jump on their side, as long as obviously they give us permission. We'll sort out the HTML on their websites, or anywhere else that we need to implement it. We're kind of offering this as more of a service rather than a product. So obviously, because we get to monitor usage, especially for these solutions that involve large base costs like ChatGPT tokens, it allows us to give more accurate billing, and also we can sort of work out where we need to upgrade and improve and optimize and all that sort of thing. So if we've got a chatbot that every time it's doing a request is like sending off 20,000 tokens, then we can sort of like bring that back in a bit, maybe lower the temperature, make it a little bit more accurate, and work out a better way of getting the responses that we want. So the pros of this: professional management obviously is a big one. Ensures that the solution is optimized, secure, and efficiently managed. Direct support. So again, because we are not doing a fire and forget approach, the customers are going to have direct support to you and your experts for maintenance and troubleshooting, improving the solution's reliability. Customization and growth allows your agency to continuously improve and customize the solution, adding value for your customers. So you can, you're not like having to wait for a customer to come back to you and go, oh, this doesn't work. We can even put into the solutions error handling, where if something goes wrong, or maybe it's a chatbot that says, this I didn't get the right response out of it, I don't know the answer. We can actually put in our own automations within those to send us a sort of support request, if you like, to say this hasn't worked, and then we can continuously maintain it without having to wait for the customer to prompt us all the time. Cons, obviously higher cost is going to be the biggest one for this. So it's going to require more resources from us, because obviously we've got the ongoing management and support costs, and also obviously more of a cost on the platforms like VoiceFlow, Make and Zapier. Dependency, customers are going to become dependent on our agency for any changes or updates, which might not always align with their timelines or our timelines. So you've got to be aware of maybe write into any contracts that you do to say that how many times can you or will you do an upgrade or a minor update, or how much will we maintain it, or how often can they call you. Obviously if you've got a needy customer, you don't want them ringing you 24/7 saying, oh, it didn't give the right response, what's going on. You've got to sort of work out a good balance and write that into any contracts that you do with your customers. Resource intensive. Managing separate workspaces and custom solutions can be resource intensive, so potentially limiting the number of customers you can serve effectively. Now, there are other ways around this. So obviously when you're still building it up, I would suggest that just having like a VoiceFlow or a Make account or a Zapier account and setting up separate workspaces, that can be quite effective, especially if you can get to the point of having maybe like an enterprise solution if you do get that big. But it might also be worth, depending on how well you want to manage it, and if you've got like a bigger team and stuff, is having separate VoiceFlow, Make and Zapier accounts, where you can like manage different businesses separately. And it might also be nice if you are doing that with different niches. So say you've got one part of your business that handles e-commerce, another side of your business is handling real estate, is having two separate accounts, just so it's easier to, that's your real estate one, that's your e-commerce one. Regardless of the approach that you choose, best practices are pretty much going to come down to make sure everything is clear communication and documented. So the worst thing you want to do is build an entire solution. You've got a customer that doesn't have any problem for 6 months, and then all of a sudden they've got an issue, and you come back to it and you go, I have no idea what this automation or software or coding or whatever it is that you've built is doing. So as you're going through, get into the habit of making notes and documenting and putting in comments into your code, just so you understand what's going on. And obviously always clear communication with your customers, that's just a given. Providing transparent pricing models, especially for hosted solutions with variable costs. So this really comes down to, if you've got a chatbot that's on using tokens. If you try and work out a worst case scenario for your token usage, I did do this. I'll try and dig it out somewhere, maybe do a different video on it about how much a worst case scenario chatbot should cost in terms of tokens, and then you can kind of go with that. And it's going to be a little bit of learning in the first instance to work out how much traffic's coming through, how much of that traffic potentially uses the chatbot, how many messages that each user is sending on average. So whilst you can work out, how many tokens that customer is likely to need over the course of a month. If you start off with like a sort of say 5 million tokens, that will probably cover you for, off the top of my head, I think it's around 10,000 messages, something like that. And then if they're not using that, you could suggest that, actually, maybe we could slightly bring down your monthly cost. And then that sort of gives them a bit of a incentive to, do we save a bit of money, or do we try and push for more traffic, or whatever the case may be. But obviously be also aware that on the other side of that, let them know that if they do go over their monthly usage, then you will have to up that and write again into their contracts to make sure that you are covering or getting them to cover the costs of anything like that, rather than it coming back on you. Regularly reviewing customer needs and solution performance to suggest improvements or upgrades. So again, this is even with the template ones, you should still be, keeping that customer in mind, going back to them, is it working okay? Do you need any help with it? Is there any other solutions that you'd also like? But obviously with then the hosted one, that's going to be more of a regular process anyway. As I say, you should be building into anything that you're hosting, like some error handling stuff and error reporting as well. So if it does come out with I don't know what the answer to that is, set that up so it sends you guys an email or a report, or maybe just go in once a week, once a month, whatever the case may be. Go through the transcripts, just see where it's failing, see where you need to improve on your intents, and then you can constantly improve it. And also go to the customers as well. So if you've learned something new, and you found a better way of doing it, or you've come across a new automation that could really benefit them, go back to your customers and suggest it. We've done this. Would you be interested in looking at it? Constantly look at improving and helping the customer. That's what it's all about. So when delivering your solutions, there's no real right or wrong answer. It's going to all come down to the individual needs of the customer. So tech-savvy customers may prefer just a simple template approach, whereas busy entrepreneurs are more likely to want a complete service. Whether you empower customers to implement solutions themselves or provide a full service, understanding the pros and cons of each option helps tailor your offering to meet diverse needs. Remember, the key to success lies in matching your delivery model to your customers' capabilities, preferences and goals. Thanks for watching. I've been Phil Wilkinson, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more insights into AI solutions and best practices. See you in the next one.